why would you own anything else than Bitcoin? Okay, a house, because you want to have your house for your family or or a vacation home. Yeah. But why would you own anything else?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say to this, it's a great question, and it's a question that we get asked all the time. But there's levels to this game, right? So Michael Saylor, the biggest Bitcoin maximalist that there is, his goal in life is to acquire as much Bitcoin as he possibly can. I've been to his house. It's massive. He has 3 boats, not 1, 3 boats out there. Why does he own boats? Why does he own, and he owns multiple houses around, why does he own all these houses? Why does he own all these boats? So there's levels to this game. So I think certainly, in the beginning, you're starting out and you're trying to really sort of think of it like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like I need to take care of my base level of needs. So I need to build up enough wealth so I can start to secure my future. And so in the beginning, it's like YOLO, all in on Bitcoin, like let's go. And some people want to even go even more risky, and they want to get into the memes or crypto because like, I don't have much money. This is my shot. Like, let's just go and see what I can do. So that's sort of where you're at in the beginning. In the Bitcoin space, there's like memes of like, sell your chairs, just put it all into Bitcoin. But as you make more money, then you start wanting other things. And so there's levels to this game, right? And so eventually you start to realize that we don't want money. None of us want money. Humans don't want money. What we want are the things that money buys us. That's real wealth. That's the goods and the services. So money is just a thing that we use to get the things that we want. It's a thing that we use to store our wealth, our energy until we're ready to deploy it. And so we want to build that Bitcoin up, and to your point, want to maximize that return, but eventually we want other things. So for example, I told you I just built this beach house in Mexico. In Mexico, it's not like America, so we don't get like 30-year debt. We have to pay cash, and it was expensive. I spent a lot of cash on that, right? And a lot of people are like, Mark, why would you do that? Don't you know that in 5 years that Bitcoin's going to be worth 10x, and look how much Bitcoin you have? And I said, so what? One day I can buy a beach house. So one day I can get no, I want the beach house. I have my kids. I want my kids to grow up in the beach house. The time that we spend as a family in that beach house, the memories that we create are worth more than any amount of money I can make. But I'm at a point in my life where I can make that decision. I wasn't always there. So if we rewind the clock back to 2008, I told you I'd sold 2 businesses. I had built the big beach house as well. I had all the cars, the whole thing, and I had to start over. So for years, I think it was probably at least 6 or 7 years, I have to add it up, but in that range, I didn't buy another house because all my money was going back into investments. It was just reinvest. I'm like, why would I take this money and put a down payment on a house and then to get the same payment that I could just rent for? I'm just going to rent. And so I did. And so we built, but I finally got my money. I got my capital base up enough where I'm like, okay, I can buy a house now. And the house is buying that house for my family. The home was a terrible financial decision. But it wasn't a financial decision. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on where you're at. Certainly I sacrificed, I built my capital stack, and a lot of people need to do that. But eventually we realize it's not the money that we want. It's the relationships, it's the memories, it's the experiences. And so I want other things, and then we'll get those things.
You said once you buy some Bitcoin, your life changes.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, Bitcoin changes your life for a bunch of reasons, but I think ultimately it starts to shift your entire mindset to what we call let's just call a long-term time preference, right? A low time preference. And so what happens is when you start to realize that the fiat system is meant to turn us into consumers, consume. One of the reasons why they have inflation is they want people to spend money. The government thinks they have to stimulate people to spend money. The reality is people should be stimulated to save. They don't need to stimulate people to buy, but they want to stimulate the economy. You talked about the velocity, I think earlier, about the money. And so like during the COVID pandemic, everybody started hunkering down and saving money. That was terrible. So they injected trillions of dollars of stimulus to get people to start spending again. So humans just want to spend. Part of that is sort of ingrained into us being the consumers, but also because our money's losing value so fast. And once we get Bitcoin, we realize that, my money can actually buy me more goods and services in the future. And so if it can buy me more goods and services in the future, then maybe I should wait. You see, on a fiat system, my money is going to buy me less. So I should probably spend it as quick as I can, because if I wait, it's going to cost me more money in the future. But with Bitcoin, it's the opposite, where it's like, it'll be cheaper for me in the future. Maybe I could just wait. You talked about the hurdle rate. So the hurdle rate is that if Bitcoin is going up at 50 or 60% per year, then why would I buy anything else that's going to cost me that? So what happens is it changes the cost of capital. So then it's like, do I really need that vacation? Do I really need that new house? Should I get that new car? Because I could just hold it in Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin, whatever, it's 115,000 a day. I think it'll be $1 million in 5 years from now. That's a 10x. If I just wait 5 years, it'll be $1 million. Every Bitcoin I saved or spend today or don't buy today will be $1 million. It'll be $15 million in 15 years. Am I willing to spend that 100,000 a day? That could be 15 million in 15 years. Now, if it's the beach house for my kids, hell yeah, I am. I'll trade all that money in the world for that experience with my kids. Yes, I will. But if it's that vacation,
because you have a lot of money already,
because I've gotten there.
Of course.
Yeah. But what happens is we start to look at things through that lens, and it's like, do I really need that? And so what happens is, again, we don't want the money, we want the things that buys us, but it helps us make better decisions. Right. And that's why it changes our life. It starts to show us, it changes our value system. It shows us what's important or not. And it'll also change the world, because in the world, we have so much misallocation of capital, so much malinvestment. We're investing into all types of things that are never going to work. We're spending money on things that we probably shouldn't be working on, money chasing problems that don't need to be solved. But when you start thinking about it in terms of Bitcoin, it makes you much more selective. And I think that's a good thing.